Hey, peace everybody. This is Ampu, aka the Urban Guru, here from hiphopastrology.com, man. Hustle Gang Shaman for sure. And I just want to elaborate on something real fast, man. My brother hit me up early this morning from Hip Hop Astrology over here at Twitter. Hit me up and said somebody trying to bounce quantum waves off my man T.I, and XXL ran a cover of this police sketching of some type of suspect, and it said he looked like Tip, the rapper T.I. Now, been up all morning on this, and I really don't appreciate it. And I'm appealing to XXL to please take that imagery down. And I'm gonna use an aspect of science, and then I'm gonna show you real life events to validate my point on why you should take it down. All right. Now, the first video I uploaded, I talked about something in quantum physics, and you Google everything I'm talking about, so I can walk you through this process so you can see it for your own self. In science, there's a term called the observer effect, EFFECT, the observer effect. And it basically states that when you make an observation, meaning you're looking at something, you can create a phenomenon, which means an event. By XXL putting Tip on this on the front page like that via social media and saying he looks like a police suspect, you can actually facilitate and create an event in which Tip can be negatively involved with the law. Okay? I'll give you a real life scenario. O.J. Simpson. I did this video years ago. O.J. Simpson, right here on YouTube, if you just go type in bro, B-R-O, Ampu, A-M-P-U, bro, Ampu, O.J. Simpson exposed, I explain how in the movies Naked Gun, these funny comedy series, these set the stage for his current imprisonment right now. The last movie O.J. played in was Naked Gun 33rd and 1/3, The Final Insult. 3 months later, this came out in '94, 3 months later, O.J. was on the news in the white Bronco. All right? Now, O.J. was found not guilty in criminal court, but in civil court, they banged him up and made him pay $33 million. Okay? Last movie, 33rd and 1/3, he has to pay $33 million in civil court. 13 years passed to the day, and you can go Wikipedia this shit. 13 years passed to the day O.J. was back in court, and then he's found guilty for what he's currently locked up now, serving a maximum sentence of 33 years. You know why? Because in the movie, the films, those series, Naked Guns, people were laughing at this like it was very funny. And when you laugh at an event, that's you looking at the event, accepting it as real, even beyond real. You start to see it, and you put a positive emotion, and you cast that emotion with laughter and joy into the atmosphere. And when you do that, because space particles around you is intelligent, the light particles coming from the sun around you is intelligent, they take all this happy, ecstatic energy, and then they can carry that out into the universe, and then that can actually get traveled, and it hits another person called O.J. Simpson, and then he'll start to go through these chains of events. Let's look at Paul Walker, who played in Fast and Furious, and then he dies in a car crash. You understand that science? Like, wow, is it a coincidence? No, listen, that's not a mere coincidence like that. That's a real science called the observer effect. All right? So I beg of you, XXL, to take that imagery down, man. This is personal to me because Tip is actually doing great work. You can see when, we all know what he's been through and how he come home and how he rebound and put his family on TV. And then we starting to see, we see success, man. We see someone who's actually teaching people how to be a great father, man. You know what I mean? So it go from family hustle to his wife incorporating her own thing with pretty hustle to the youngsters coming up doing their own thing and starting to act and doing music. And we seeing business getting done. We're learning about business and family and how to mix that at the same time, man, through family hustle. See, in the generations, we got to be real about this. The 70s, like I was born in the 70s. So my pops was born in the late 50s. Like, we all know that the T.I. generations, our parents was disconnected from us because we didn't listen really to the same music, and they didn't want to come over to the hip-hop when the hip-hop came in. Oh, you listen to that old crazy old music. So it created a great generational gap in our culture between us and our parents. But now our children are listening to the same music before we even listen to it, show us how to put it on the iPad and the iPhone and all that before we even do it. And now we become together. We like parents / brothers and sisters to our children. Because now we in the same fad because the music did that. It bridged that gap. Alright? So this is real personal to me. Tip did something that's phenomenal. He's doing something that's phenomenal. And he just opened up a restaurant called Scales 925 because that's his birthday. He a Libra. Libra is the justice scales. Right? Now he got Scales 925 open. Libra is the justice scale. So let's just say the good part is on one scale. Now here come the negativity through this shit XXL just put out on the other side of the scale that can potentially counter all the good that he's been doing. Y'all gotta cut this shit out, man. I know it's funny because it looks like that, but that shit ain't funny. Because when you get inside of XXL magazine, you will see that they're actually owned by Harris Publication. But Harris is the last name of T.I. So like I said in video 1, the owner name is Stanley Harris. When you start looking up in Harris Publications, you will actually see that they own another magazine that deals specifically with weapons for law enforcement. The same shit that T.I. was in trouble for. You understand what I'm saying? Is with XXL, behind XXL, there's a company, part of the company in the magazine, published shit, weapons for law enforcement, the same shit that T.I. was in trouble for. You understand what I'm saying? So that's called entanglement. Same name. So like I said, if this Stanley Harris person came over to, especially if he's black, if he came to a family reunion of T.I., he's like, yo, I'm part of the Harris family, and he pulled out ID and it got Harris on it, you wouldn't even question that. You understand what I'm saying? Because that will make it past your senses of scrutiny. So thus, in the quantum level, on the spiritual dynamic of this, there's no questioning that because the owner of XXL really is Harris, the same people as T.I., they putting out the same information that T.I. was in trouble with before on a whole nother side of another business or a different publication. You understand what I'm saying? Then they put T.I. face on another side of a publication. You gotta look at this shit like a coin. There's heads and tails. There's two sides to a story. You understand what I'm saying? You can entangle T.I. into this shit, and we say it all the time in the streets. We don't want to get tangled up with that. And like I said, with the observer effect, when somebody look at you funny, you be like, yo, what is this nigga looking at? Oh, yo, he looking at my girlfriend. Like, you don't play that. And in the streets, you can't be like, yo, hey, man, that dude that shot homie or that shot, man, that look like Tip. You can't do that in the streets, man. You can't do that in the streets. I just showed you why you shouldn't do that in science from the observer effect. So XXL, I'm pleading to you, take that shit down. Please, take that shit down. Or as a shaman, I'm going to just be 100 with you. If something happened to my man Tip, I am telling you, it is my promise that something mysteriously, something very, very, very mysterious will start to happen to the people inside of that place. All of a sudden, they ass to get sick and it be accidents and shit popping. I'm telling you that. That is a motherfucking promise. Alright? I take this shit real personal because this man doing great work. And real fast on the celestial science, because Tip got a birthday coming up. Today is September the 1st. Alright? His birthday is 9/25. Alright? Everybody know, well, everybody don't know, in the celestial science, there's 52 weeks in a year. And then you can take 52 weeks, alright, which is approximately 365 days. If you divide that by 7, you would get roughly about 52 days each. So 52-day periods times 7. So 52 days times 7 periods give you 364, right? Because 52 times 7 is 364. 365 is a year. So we go through these periods. 7 periods of 52 days each. Thus you got the 7 days of the week. Monday, Moon Day. Saturday, the day of Saturn. Sunday, the day of the sun. Let's talk real science shit, all right? This ain't no hocus pocus. You practice this shit every day of your life, all right? Now, when you go through these 7 cycles, which are patterned off the 7 days of the week, all right? The last cycle before your birthday, the 7th cycle, is Saturn. Just like the Jews or the Hebrews practice, the Sabbath is on Saturday, right? Friday evening technically becomes the next day, and then when you go on Saturday, all day Saturday is the Sabbath into Saturday evening, all right? So I'm telling you this from a spiritual angle that these 7 cycles that we just saw real fast is real. Since Tip's birthday is about to come up in 24 more days from now, that means he's at the very end of his last cycle. He's coming to the end of his last 7th cycle for this year, however old he is. So let's just say he's 35. Then, all right, he's 35, but he's in his last 7th cycle at 35 years old because he's about to be 36 on his birthday. All right? This last cycle, the 7th cycle that we go through a year, because we go through 7 cycles, right? It's like a woman go through menstrual cycles. You know, we got to really grow up on this whole thing. Our life is about patterns and cycles. You live in a place that go in a circle, man. You got ups and downs when your money flowing and shit bad. It's these cycles that appear. You got to get hip to this shit, all right? So, my point being, Tip is in his last cycle because his birthday is coming up. That's the Saturn cycle. Saturn usually deals with success and hard work. He doing that. Scales 925, he working hard. Leave the man alone. The negative aspect of that becomes government and law officials and some type of opposition with them, which we just saw through this sketch. All right? So salute to the big homie, man. Hustle Gang Shaman. Hit us up, hiphopastrology.com. Email us info@hiphopastrology. Follow us, Hip Hop Astrology, over at Twitter. And I'm Ampu Astrology, a.k.a. the Urban Guru, signing out. Peace.